All right, you guys. Well, I'm live. That's happening. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing this every single day. There will be an episode of the podcast of Archie's Briefings coming out later. It's just, I felt like, I had the day off. I was up early and I was having my coffee. I was watching some Judge Judy. And then I started watching some documentaries on YouTube about where we are in society. The hopelessness is just driving me crazy. I thought, you know what? I'm drinking my coffee. I see a lot of, videos of the beggar talks and, well, is that what it's called? Beggar talk, like the people who beg on TikTok. And then I see a lot of documentaries and videos done by some of the people on the news, mainstream media, but ultimately the stories are pretty good. I thought they were really addressing a serious issue there. A lot of them that I've been watching have been about the elderly, and I was quite interested by that. Mostly because when I look at the elderly, I see people who are older, obviously, who are also wise. They're wise people, like they know what they're talking about. And all these documentaries that I'm seeing with all these, older people, they're talking about why they wish they did something, the things that they regret. And not to say that there were, you know, that they didn't have other regrets outside of money, but that's pretty much the whole purpose of my channel. It's the purpose of the work that I do, working with clients. This, just that's pretty much the idea. So you guys got to forgive me because, I didn't prepare for this. I just had a lot to say and I didn't want to have to wait to record the episode and edit and get it posted. I will be doing one talking about that later just to give you guys a little bit more information as to what I saw there. I'm not sharing any screens. It's just too early for that. So I'm going to watch my language because I do feel like it's too early for cuss words. I don't think people should cuss before we even hit noon. I just, maybe it's noon where you are. It's not noon where I am. So I'm just not going to do that. And I did get in front of the camera to get hair brushed, makeup on, right? I tried something new with the lipstick. I don't know. I think I like it. I kind of like it. I saw something that popped up in my YouTube feed. It looked really cute. I thought, let me try it. Let me see if I like it. I don't dislike it. I'm still a lip gloss kind of gal. I'm looking at this like, yeah, it's okay. It ain't horrible. It's all right. Not my favorite. But anyhow, I just wanted to get up here, and the reason why I'm leaning towards doing some of these lives because it is a little bit more candid. It's not so prepared. I had something that I wanted to say because I just see too much hopelessness out here, and I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of it. I can't even. And I don't know how many times I could tell people my story, tell my testimony, and I'm still like, and it could be because my reach isn't that far, my audience isn't that large. I did start that second YouTube channel of moral finance. I still have to meet some requirements, of course, before I can go live there. I would like to be able to go live on both of the channels, go live here, go live there. I would like to be able to do that. TikTok needs me to download software to my computer. It's just like, yo, y'all make things so difficult. And I know it's not as difficult, our show. Like you could just download the software to your computer. It's like, yeah, but that's just too much stuff on the computer. And all the girl's trying to say is, yo, it's not as hopeless as you think it is. Like literally, it's not like there's no hope. Okay. And I am a little frustrated about how hopeless people are in our society. Like right now, listen, you guys, I'm looking at the screen, zero people watching, zero people in the chat. And that's okay with me because it's like, listen, if once in a while you do come across these, I am going to think about doing this a little bit more. So you just won't get the podcast of Archie's Briefings. You might get morning lives from me because I do think that it's a good idea that we get a little candid. I'm not so heavily prepared. I don't really want to take these lives to, talk about the cultural influences and the policy influences into our money. Now I'm here to talk about you guys. I'm here to talk about us, individual choices. It is a choice to look at society, to look at your lives and say, whoa, oh, whoa is me. I've been there, I've done that, and I'm fed up. I've had it up to here. Now, like I said, it's not even noon, so I'm not going to cuss because I don't think people should cuss before noon. It's too early for the bad language. I can't even. Like, I can't even do it. What I am saying is, it is a perspective, right? It's entirely subjective. You can look at your life and say, my life sucks. I have all this debt. I don't have savings. 401ks was it was a trap, really. It was a plot against Americans. That's what I believe about the 401ks, that we don't make enough money to save, that society at large is horrible. We're at war with each other. They're taking away my food stamps and I have all this debt and I can't have kids and I can't get married and we can't have children and can't get married because things are just so damn expensive. Like, yo, I'm gonna need yo, up to here with the hopelessness. I just want to be clear. A few short months ago, I went from having no money to now having money and savings. My problem last year, and when I say last year, that doesn't sound like that makes it sound like it was longer, right? We're talking like 4 to 6 months ago. My problem was I had no money. Today, my problem is I don't have enough money. And you guys are saying, Arshella, why are you smiling? This is not a good thing. You don't have that much money. Why are you smiling? I'm smiling because just 4 to 6 months ago, I had no money. Today, my problem is I don't have enough money. If in 4 to 6 short months, I went from some money with savings, then imagine where I can be in the next 4 to 6 months. Like, stop looking at your lives like it's just a snapshot, right? That's what Dave Ramsey says. Life is not a snapshot, it's a film strip. Your life is not a blurb in the back of the book, it's a whole dang chapter book, okay? Like, think of your life as an entire stage production with many acts in it. If you listen to Jane Fonda, there's at least four. Like, at first there were three, now she's like there's four. How she breaks up the elderly years, I don't know. But ultimately, as a person, as a female who's 30 and who's a millennial, that makes me in my second act, the beginning of my second act. I can honestly say my second act is actually starting off better than the way my first act ended. Like, that's kind of the idea. I mean, according to Jane Fonda, maybe the second act starts when you're 40. I don't know. Maybe you're still in your first act when you're 30. I don't know. She was in her 30s when she came up with this. So it's quite possible that she was trying to still make herself seem like a young person. You guys know how I feel about that. I don't think you're young when you're 30. Like, nah, you're a full out adult. You're sitting at the adults table for the holidays, not at the kids table. You're not just a grown up anymore. You're an adult. A 21-year-old, no, you're a grown up. A 30-year-old, you the adult who gets to sit at the adult table for Thanksgiving. Okay, you're not a young person anymore, and so I don't call 30-year-olds young people. I don't think so. I don't think millennials are young people. Gen Zers are young people. Millennials, we like really grown folk out here. Okay, so yeah, no, we're not young. We're no spring chickens, but we're not the elderly either. So how she decided how the acts are going to be broken up, I have no idea. Fact is that, well, maybe not fact, but if I think what she meant was 30 is the beginning of your second act, mine is starting out okay. Okay. It ain't perfect. It's not, great. But look what my problem was just a few short months ago compared to what it is today. I choose to see the silver lining. People say I have 30, 40, $50,000 worth of debt. And I hear a number like that. I'm like, yo, that's awesome. Why? Because you didn't say it was six figures. Do you know how many Americans out here got six figures worth of debt? When I hear people say they have $30,000 worth of debt, but they've got over $50,000 worth of Bitcoin or savings, whoa, you realize you can be out of debt tomorrow? Like, again, not many Americans have that up. So it's literally a choice to be in debt if that's your circumstance, where you things to be out of it tomorrow. You have the crypto asset to be out of debt tomorrow. Not every American has that situation, right? I went from no money to some money with savings in 4 to 6 months, you guys. Like, you can't just be sitting here saying how hopeless it is. Like, oh no, you shouldn't save. You shouldn't do these things because, oh my goodness, to save into a 401k, to save into an investment savings account. Like, it's just not going to work. It's just not fast enough. Stop sleeping on the tortoise, people. It's pissing me off. Okay. Everybody want to sleep on the tortoise and everybody wants to be the hare who loses the race. I might add, I just want the hello loses the race slowly, but surely you can change your life. And listen, with modern technology, with determination, you can make it so. Like, it doesn't have to be in 40 years. No one's saying not to get creative. I'm not saying don't go ahead and, try to build a business, leverage modern technology, get the second and third job if that's what it comes down to. But you guys, I listened to these elderly people who say the one thing they wish they did was save. Why? So they wouldn't have to withdraw from Social Security sooner rather than later. If they had waited till they were 70 instead of 60, they would have been able to get higher payments from their Social Security. And that's for the elderly today. There's no guarantee that we're going to have Social Security when we get older. So you can't even count on that the way that they were able to. Heck, we don't know if it's going to be there for the Gen Xers, let alone for millennials. Therefore, certainly not for Gen Zers if it ain't going to be there for us. They were getting Social Security payments too soon, as opposed to waiting until they're 70. They did it when they were 60. They were forced into retirement or they thought that they should retire. Their 401ks didn't have enough. Some withdrew from their 401ks, sold all their stocks, withdrew out of their life insurance policies. Whether it was like a whole life policy, they might have been able to borrow from it as well. And again, it's borrowing because you're borrowing from yourself. Eventually, you have to put that back. Okay. That's a debt to yourself, but essentially, you do have to pay that back. And a lot of young people are just not thinking about those things. All these elderly people who said they wished they'd done something different. And I'm like, yeah, yo, that's why I'm out here saying we should save, even if it is one 84-year-old woman, you guys. And I saw this story. The woman is driving Uber at 84. At 84. She says, I wish I had more passive income. I wish I didn't live in the here and now, because she was a hippie person. That's what she said. Back in the 70s, I was a hippie. That's what she told people. She was a hippie. She lived in the here and the now. Today, we call it YOLO. You only live once. So we don't think about the future. Oh, I'll deal with it when I get there. So you're going to wait till you're 60? That's retarded. It's retarded. Like, I'm sorry. I told you, I'm not going to cuss. I'm not going to have, it's not so early that I don't have some energy. I'm very passionate about this subject. I know what it is to be caught out there, to have life be life in, all hell breaks loose. You got no savings. The job you had is unreliable. And now you're dependent on either government or family, both maybe, becoming a burden, creating frustrations and animosities, inevitably leading to resentments, all of which I had and have. Forgave, still working on the forgetting part. Still have to deal with my resentments and all that. Because I was the adult toddler, do you imagine like all the resentments that have been built up and the frustrations that have been built up between my family and myself could have been avoided? Why? How? If I had saved, you guys, I've been working in sales since I was like 20 years old. Okay. I was working Broadway. And on average, I would say I probably spent about $500 a month every month on Broadway shows because I was in discount. So I was able to get tickets on discounted. Okay. So yeah, $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. You say, oh, Rochelle, that's nothing. Okay, but $6,000, even without going into a 10% compound interest savings investment account, that's $6,000 a year. In the 4 years, this is prior to COVID, in the 4 years that I was working there, I would have had $24,000. That's without compound interest. I chose not to save. Why? The advice I was told in my 20s, get a job, get a place, pay your bills. The rest, party, party, party. Because apparently when you're in your 20s, you're stupid. You're allowed to be stupid. People expect you to be dumb because you're young, dumb, and broke. They expect you to stay young, dumb, and broke. And all of a sudden you turn 30 and you're supposed to get wiser. Like, why do we got to wait, especially as women? Why do we got to wait till we're 30 to start hearing our biological clock ticking because someone told us, oh, you're young, have fun, enjoy your hoe days? That's retarded. It's retarded. Oh no, don't think about getting married. Don't think about having children. Wait a minute. You're telling me that I should deny myself holy matrimony? Someone who I'd have, I don't know, a confidant in. There are things that you can't tell your parents, you can't tell your siblings, things you may not even tell friends, but you could tell a husband, share your fears and burdens and concerns with a husband without the fear of judgment. You can't do that with everybody in your family. You can't do that with friends, but I'm denying myself that because girl got to go out there and have a career. Then all hell breaks loose. Society shuts down and a girl had no savings, no husband, no kids of my own, fully dependent. Because why? I was told to focus on my career and party, party, party and not save. That's what the advice was. So yeah, when I listen to elderly people who say, yeah, I regret not getting married. I regret not having children. I regret not saving because I wouldn't have had to ask for Social Security at 60. I could have waited until I was 70. I wouldn't have had to have borrowed from my whole life insurance policy, which I don't necessarily agree with. I prefer term over whole, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. That while I was young and making money, I wish I had done the $25 a week because my goodness, at 20 years old, I was making money. It wasn't a lot, but at $25 a week, that's $100 a month. $100 a month is $1,200 a year. They're 84. From when you're 20 to 84, yo, that's 60 years. $1,200 saved a year for 60 years. But that takes too long, Rochelle. That's not going to have me right. No, you're absolutely right. The numbers as of today are an individual has to have at least close to $1 million. I believe the number was a little over 980,000. I specifically remember the number saying $987,000. That's what an individual has to have in order to live comfortably in their retirement years if they were to retire at 65 or 70. That's what the numbers are showing. As of today, that could obviously change for the better or for the worse. I don't know. As of today, that's what an individual to be comfortable in the last of their years. Okay, so even if I did save $1,200 every single year for 60 years, I still wouldn't have that number. Correct. You're absolutely correct. You'd have a little over $40,000 in 60 years. Well, that's not enough money. It's not enough money. Of course, it's not enough money. But I'll tell you what, it means if you are forced into retirement, you have a emergency savings account that has been earning compound interest for the better part of 40 years. If you make it happen when you're 60, and then of course, you're forced into retirement, maybe you're laid off because they push you into retirement. It is now from 20 to 60, you're being laid off. It's 40 years instead of you have that emergency savings to cover some of those bills until you can find a second job, whether it is Uber or you find another job. People are not afraid to hire older people. Maybe you find yourself in the better situation. How much time I've been up here already? 15 minutes? Okay, not horrible. It ain't the perfect circumstance, but it does mean you don't have to borrow from your whole life policy. It means you don't have to borrow from your 401ks or your pension plans if you have those things. You'd have emergency savings that you can rely on to actually put you in a situation to cover the emergency. Because when life be lifing and crisis hits, because it always does, you are prepared. Okay. I was caught out here like a fool because no one told me to prepare for the worst by saving my money. I was told because I was 20, was okay. I was told I could enjoy hoe days. I didn't, thank the Lord, because that comes with a whole sea full of problems I see all over TikTok and Instagram. I was told to prioritize career and deny myself something holy and righteous like marriage and children. That's the advice. Wait till you're 30. Oh no, Arshel, you're young. You're moving to Texas, they say, Arshel. You have no kids, Arshel. You're not married, Arshel. You have no obligations to no one but yourself, Arshel. They think this shit's, oh, sorry. I know it's early, but I'm like, they think this sounds good because we're not trying to save. We're not trying to prioritize holy matrimony and families. We're not trying to prioritize responsibility. Because when you're young, you're allowed to be dumb. And then when you're 30, they think that it's okay to continue that nonsense. Like, what? That's stupid. It's retarded, you guys. It's retarded. It's absolute nonsense. I think when the elderly says that this is what they wish they had done, why aren't we doing it? Maybe we should save. I'm not saying it's going to solve all of your problems. I am saying it's hedging against the potential crisis that, let's call a spade, is 100% likely to hit. Okay. 100% likely to hit. And here's a question. You say it's morbid to have conversations about what happens if we die. Oh, this conversation is morbid because I don't want to talk about life insurance and I don't want to talk about saving for when I'm older. And I don't, because it's morbid. It's morbid. What's morbid is when you have children and you're 60 and you need the aid and they have to come out of their money to make sure you're taken care of. Either the taxpayers are covering for you or your children have to come out of their earnings to take care of you. Now, I'm willing to give it to boomers because they weren't taught any better. But we don't have that excuse, millennials. We don't have that excuse, Gen Xers. We don't have those excuses, Gen Zers. We don't have those excuses. Why? Because information is free. It's free. There is no reason why you don't know what to do, especially when they are saying, this is what I wish I did. This is what you should do because I didn't do it. And this is how you do it. Literally find out the meaning of life for free. We don't have those excuses. There is no reason why that millennials, when we become 60, 70, and 80, that you are leaving your children, if you have, a legacy of debt and financial irresponsibility. Start saving. It is that important. Why? So you're not 80 years old driving Uber. That's why. That's why. It's like, yo, why are we not even thinking about this when they say this is what I wish I did? Do you want to be that person? Because here's the thing. I was already that person when I was talking about what happened during the COVID days. I wish I had saved some of my money. I spent hundreds of dollars on Broadway shows that had I saved, I would have been in a crisis, yes, like everybody else was, but I would have had over $20,000 in savings at minimum. I wouldn't have had to move in with my parents. I would have been a little bit more protective of my own person, smarter about my decisions, the business options that I went to go invest into. I might have thought differently because I'm using my money and not stimulus checks. I'm thinking twice about this, right? I was the kind of person who believed, and in a way I still believe it, that you need to have the leverage. And I do believe leverage is, a kind of income or savings to defend your character, to defend your personality. Like I've had those problems as the dependent adult toddler, where I've had people who I love and who love me, and I know this, say things to me about me because I had no money. And I felt like I didn't have any leverage to defend myself. Never mind the fact that I changed spiritually. I was closer to the Lord. My behavior was different. I was no longer, unleashing holy hell with my words, because I could literally cut a person deep to their core because I know all their secrets. When you live with a family of gossipers, I know everything. And I would use it to my advantage. Don't come for my neck because I will cut you to your core. I chose not to do that anymore. A girl could literally be buzzed out of her mind. And instead of cutting them down and throwing their mistakes in their face, I'm yelling at them and calling them effing pataks. Like, yo, I'm cursing at you in Klingon, as opposed to throwing all of your secrets out in your face in front of our mother. Like, that's what I'm choosing to do. I'd say that's growth. I would say that. But frustrations and resentments all started because of my financial irresponsibility. Yes, Fauci sucks, and I would love to see him arrested. Yes, the government violated civil liberties in the Constitution. It seems to happen more often today. I had no control over that. Like, none. What I did have control over was that I could have saved my money, because that I did. And I'm a little sick and tired of seeing all the hopelessness out here. Like this, I'm not going to pretend like we don't have options. And I'm not going to pretend that, yes, it's subjective. It is up to your perspective. You can look at your life like a snapshot and say why you think it sucks. Or you can look at your life like a full out play on a stage. There is more than one act. Just because today may not be the best doesn't mean that tomorrow can't be better. Yesterday I was broke. Today I have an income with savings. If I can do that in a couple of months, it didn't even take a year, you guys. I simply made a decision, started working hard, believed in myself, trusted the Lord, implemented biblical financial principles. Things are happening for me. I've got a budget. I calculated my DTI. I'm saving. I know what I can afford. I know what I can't afford. I know what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to spend on and what I'm not supposed to spend on. I'm not saying that my spending has gotten perfect. What I am saying is it's not nearly as horrible as it was when I was in my 20s, because not only was I spending recklessly, I wasn't saving at all. Today, I save. I still spend, but not entirely recklessly like I used to. I implement discipline. And guess what? Every time I spend on something nonsensical, I feel it to my core. Yo, should I really have spent money on this today? Should I really have spent this money on a Starbucks coffee today? Especially when they're not, these things are not cheap. Like, come on, $8 coffees if you're trying to get a good one. Like, why is a small a tall and it's still $5? I don't understand that. Like, I just think that's ridiculous. But without thought, I'll spend it. And I feel it to my core, especially when I look at my bank account. I'm watching my hard-earned money go to Starbucks because I so desperately needed the coffee. Funnily enough, here we are drinking coffee. Right. I got a problem with this, you guys. Like, honestly, it's a choice. I heard those elderly people speak, and I'm like, yeah, I think they're right. I think it's important that we save. I think it's important that we budget. I think it's important that we look into things like Roth IRAs and life insurance. I term over whole. Again, a different conversation for another day. It does not mean that I don't believe that insurance is a scam. I do. And it does not mean that I don't believe that 401k was a financial experiment on the American people that clearly failed and continues to fail, and they refuse to say that it failed. But low key, why I'm saying, if your job gives it to you, be grateful. And if they don't give it to you, maybe you should start looking into some options about how you can do it for yourself, even if it is only a 401k. I'd rather you be saving and investing than not doing it at all, and only focusing on this moment in time in your life of how you don't make enough to do it. I want to prioritize getting rich fast, getting rich quick, as opposed to playing the game the tortoise way. I'm like, yo, but Even with modern technology, the tortoise is still going to move slower than the hare, and yet somehow the tortoise is still going to win. I'm not saying that you don't get creative. I'm not saying that you don't find other ways other than taking on the second job, build the side hustle. That's what I've done. That's what I'm doing. Looking at options, looking at ways in which I can leverage modern tech, from streaming to social media to AI. How could I use the tools at my disposal to build something, increase my income, and therefore decrease my debt to income ratio so I can achieve the goals that I have? Here's the thing: the momentum is building. How? Because again, from 4 to 6 months ago, I went from having no dollars to having some dollars with some savings. Okay. It's not the best situation, but I can guarantee you it's not the worst. The beggars on TikTok are saying there's no hope. They're blaming society at large. They are saying the world sucks. They are saying the system sucks. They are saying they can't get ahead. They are saying the man doesn't want them to get rich. Oh, well, because, China sold TikTok to the far right. The far right isn't going to make sure that we can make money and this and like, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. China sold out to the far right Zionists. Okay, fine. Okay. Can you still make money using digital media? Can you still earn? Can you? Did you hedge against the possibility that the landscape changes every time the algorithm does? Like the people who said I was going to sell something using TikTok, when they were no longer making money as content creators, but they were making money because they're salesmen. Hello, there's a reason they can still make money using TikTok, because TikTok their algorithm. How can I use TikTok to grow my influence, to grow my distribution so I can get monetized by selling the things that I'm selling and not necessarily waiting for the platform to pay me? Like, why am I waiting for TikTok to say I can be paid? Why am I waiting for YouTube to say when I can be paid? Why am I waiting for any of these platforms to say when I can be paid, when it's between me and my viewers? It's between me and my customers. Like, what the heck? They have to say that I'm trustworthy, that they like my brand, that they like who I am. Like, yo, opportunity through the roof. This is the land of opportunity. Maybe not so much free and fair, but opportunity still here. Choice to view it one way or the other. How can you be leveraging modern tech to increase your situation? Bring it, focus it in, make it smaller. Don't think I'm going to build this big business and I'm going to get rich really quick. No, you know damn well you just need to make an extra $1,000 a month. Go for it. Use it. Look for other jobs while building out this other thing. Save your money when you can. Don't not save because it's unrealistic or I'm not in the position to. No, that's a choice too, because you can stop subscribing to Disney and all the rest of them. Now, I subscribe to Disney. I'm still able to save. If I want to save more, I got to make that sacrifice. I will sacrifice Disney and other subscriptions. If I want to save an extra like $60, $80 a month, if I'm willing to do that, I already said no to the salon. I do my hair myself because I'm already making the sacrifices. I'm slashing, and saving. I'm still able to contribute to the home that I'm in via rent. May not be much, but it's something. I'm able to contribute and buy my own groceries that I share with the home. I'm able to pay for my own phone bill. I'm able to save. My goals have morphed and evolved and changed from what it was 4 to 6 months ago. 4 to 6 months, you guys, my problem was different. My problem was I had no money. Today, my problem is I don't make enough money, and I smile about it and I count my blessings, and I'm thrilled about that situation because if in 4 to 6 months, I went from being broke to being low on cash with savings, then where am I going to be the next 4 to 6 months? Life is a film strip, not a snapshot. Perception is a mofo, according to the comedian Testimony. And she's absolutely right. It's absolutely subjective. Old people say save, do it. Hello, we keep saying we want how-tos and what to do next. I got 80-year-olds telling me, I wish I saved. Girl, save. You know what, Mr. Older Lady, Mr. and Mrs. Older Lady, I'm going to do that. It may not be much, but it's something, and I can do it, and I can do it today. So why not do that? I'm tired of going on TikTok and seeing people being depressed. Oh, my car, the interest is so high. Well, lady, you didn't have to get a car you couldn't afford. $40,000, something that's going to be depreciated from the moment you drive off the lot and you put yourself into that debt, and I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? No one feels sorry for you. I can tell you no one felt sorry for my behind when I was being the adult toddler independent. The government didn't care. I was conservative, for goodness sakes. The government didn't care when Joe Biden was in there. Government don't care with Trump in there. No one cares. No one cares. Now, I care enough to try to give some people some sense on how to budget their money. Because, I remember when I had no money, no savings, frustrations and animosities building up with the family, resentments that I have towards them, unresolved, I might add, because I made poor decisions. Can't really be mad at them because I made stupid decisions. Now, things were said and done that I don't appreciate. Have yet to deal with those things. But again, only happened because I was irresponsible. Who's really at fault here? Who's really to blame for that? All these people who are being pessimistic about where life is headed and where the world's going to go. And I can't do nothing if Israel takes over the world. I can't do nothing if the government fails us. And I can't do nothing about none of those things. I can't do nothing about none of it. What I can do is try to do everything that I possibly can to save, to be smart with my money, to spend recklessly less, less recklessly. That's more accurate. Sorry, still drinking my coffee. Hasn't really kicked in, I guess. Maybe it's because it's not hot enough. But I'm not so unique. I'm not so star-spangled awesome that my testimony is so significant. I went from being broke 4 months ago to now being employed with savings. My goals have evolved and changed, and the momentum is building and changing, and it's growing. And I'm like, that's amazing. Think about. Stop just complaining about what you don't have. Count your blessings. What didn't you have 4 months ago, Because, I'm going to need you. 4 months ago, I had no money. Today, I have money and savings. That's what I have today. If I was able to do that in 4 months, my goodness, what's going to happen to me in the next 4 months? I'm excited. I'm thrilled. You guys, at the beginning of the year, I said I think this is going to be a great year if we are disciplined, if we are willing to make the sacrifices, if we are willing to adhere to the principles of the scripture. Like, I got a whole book over here, you guys. It's called Proverbs to Live By. Save, store choice foods and oils. Save the valuables. You make money, save as much as you possibly can. If you're only making $1,000 and you're roommating and after bills, you have the ability to save $100 and save that $100. Do that every month. For 10 months, you're guaranteed to have 1,000. That's for sure. You're guaranteed if you save that $100. Well, that's not enough fast enough. No, it's not. You're absolutely right. It's not enough fast enough. But you know something? Because every single month you're seeing your savings grow, you're going to ask yourself, how can I get to that 1,000 faster? Can I pick up extra hours? Can I get the second job? Can I build a side hustle? Can I do all three? You get excited. The momentum builds and you start achieving those little goals, have small achievements, and it only encourages you to go out there and make something happen because you're winning. Even if they are little wins, even if those little wins don't get respected by your family. Trust me, I get it. Been there. I've had horrible things said to me, you guys. Horrible things. And once in a while, it creeps into my head. I could literally just, you guys, if I repeated some of the things that were told me or said about me, like, my goodness, y'all be angry for me. You would be angry for me. I can't believe they said that to you, our show. I know, right? I think I'm pretty freaking awesome sauce. I know I got my problems. I know I got things to work on, but I think I've made some, changes in my life spiritually. I think that counts for something. Maybe not to them, but to the only person that matters, the big guy upstairs. You guys, if I repeated some of the things that were said to me or about me and things that were done to me, you guys, you'd be angry for me. But I'm not looking for a pity party, hence why that, and I don't want to put my whole family on blast because, I could if I wanted to, but I'm not that person anymore. You see what I'm saying? It's a choice. I'm not saying that there aren't going to be those days where you just want to sit in the resentments and the frustrations and the harsh realities. But 4 months ago, I had no money. And now I've achieved the goal of having a job and having savings. I've done that. That was a little win, and I did it. I was able to do that in 4 months because I stayed determined and loyal to the word of God, of Christ. Then what can I do in the next 4 months? What is the rest of this year going to look like? I'm determined to help as many people get on a budget. I'm determined to get as many people to see the positive and negative influences into how we do our money. I want people to understand, especially young people, because yo, Gen Zers, when they say because you're 20, it is okay to be stupid, they're lying to you. They want you to struggle because they did. Now, they may not be doing it intentionally. They think, well, because it's been the case for everybody, then it has to be the case for you too. And it doesn't have to be. You don't got to wait till you're 30 to get married and have children and to save your money. You don't got to wait till the crisis strikes to realize you did something wrong. Thank you for the person who liked this and the person who's watching. I'm very grateful to the viewers. I don't see any comments in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and keep on going because I got a lot to say about this. I do like these morning lives, and I seem to, get a little bit more enthusiastic as the time goes by. Coffee is amazing. Yeah, it does that. Janeway's right. All I want is a proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot. Didn't got to spend $4 to $8 at Starbucks. Like, right. Make it yourself. Mm-hmm. Word. Absolutely. Word indeed. Thank you again for watching and for liking the video. Definitely, you guys like, share. I don't know if you can share it because it's live, but you can go ahead and you can get in the comments or get in the chat. That's the right word. That's the right thing to say. Chat, not comments. But yeah, haven't done this in a minute, so it's been a while since I've gone live. I don't hate the lipstick. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Anyhow, yeah, no, I just feel like I want to be optimistic. I'm not saying ignore the reality and the harsh reality. What I am saying is that you have an opportunity to change your life for the better. Your life is not a snapshot. It's a film strip. Okay. It's not the blurb of a book. It's the entire chapter book. Okay. It's not the summary in a playbill. It's the whole dang play. Okay. One of these days, the curtain is going to close. Okay. When that final line is said, when that final act is over and the curtain closes and the house lights come up and it's between you and the big guy upstairs, what do you want to tell him? How will you be judged? Because you won't be judged for, what the world does or what the government didn't do or how unfair society was. No, what did you do? Were you an honorable, noble, loving steward? Or were you reckless and irresponsible? Yeah, I see the appeal to the secular. I see the appeal to the atheist because, who would want to meet their maker if they know that they're not going to do the right thing? If they're not going to live a noble and honorable life like a steward should. If I sat here and I told you all of the terrible things that were said to me and about me, you guys would be angry for me. But why am I going to sit here and go into all that? Why am I going to sit here and talk about all the reasons for why I have resentments and I have frustrations and I haven't forgiven my family and all that? Like, why? Like, what is the point? Ask for the pity party? Because, misery loves company. You get enough of that on YouTube and TikTok. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you like, woe is us because the government sucks. Woe is us because the financial institutions can't be trusted. When I hear 80-year-olds who are driving Uber say, save, maybe we should do it. When I hear 80-year-olds say they wish that they had been more financially responsible, yeah, I feel like we should do it. You might not have done it in your 20s because I know I didn't. But I said when I turn 30, I'm going to get smart because apparently from the stupid advice I was given, when you turn 30, you're smarter. Just like that, you guys. I turned 30. I made different decisions. 4 months later, I went from being broke to having income and savings. If I was able to do that in 4 to 6 months, then what am I going to do for just the first half of 2026? Like, what does the Lord have in store for me? Because I've chosen to be loyal to his word, to work hard, to be determined. I'm doing very well at my job. My bosses love me. Okay. Doing very good there. Okay. The guests love me. The bosses love me. My colleagues are working really hard. We're working together. We actually have a really good team going on there. I really like it. And I work in hospitality, which is on the rise. It's another conversation for another day. It's a word. Everybody's afraid of getting replaced by AI. Yeah, not the waitress, not the bartender. We're not getting replaced anytime soon. So, hey, maybe y'all should look into hospitality if you're struggling to find a job. Get the job as the waitress or the hostess or the bartender or the chef, because that's going to take robotics. And even then, the chances, it's very slim. Okay. Very slim. They'll be replaced by a robot. Okay. Men don't tip robots. Men tip hot chicks. Okay. And women don't tip robots, they tip hot men. Okay. So if you're young out here and you struggling to find work, look in hospitality. Okay. Doesn't really take that much effort to, well, take some strength, but doesn't take that much effort to be respectable, smile, and hold a tray. Like, doesn't take that much. Just know the menu, be smart, be respectable, look like a decent citizen, know how to speak proper English, and get the job, go into hospitality. Less likely to be replaced by AI. If you're so concerned about it, then hey, go for something that is less likely to be replaced by AI, because I ain't getting replaced as a waitress and hostess anytime soon. So side note on that one. But I'm doing very well at work. I have my side hustle with Moral Finance. I'm working towards getting more clients. I'm working on, getting some things ready for you guys so we can be better about our money, learn what the DTI is, how to, implement that math and that number into our lives so we can determine whether or not we can afford the next financial commitment we are about to make before we make them. Like, that's what I'm trying to do out here. I'm trying to help as many people be better with their money because I was given terrible, terrible advice. Terrible advice. When you're in your 20s, get a job, get a place, pay your bills. The rest is party, party, party. Shut up with that nonsense. That's nonsense. That's what I was told. Because I was in my 20s, I was stupid. I was so stupid, I was adorable. That's what I was told in my 20s. That's okay. Just have fun, Arshelle. It's okay. Just have fun. Just have fun. Just have fun. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I did that at 18. At 18, I got $5,000. The smartest thing I did with it was give half of it to my mother. The rest I spent on Broadway shows, going to the movies, and eating very, very well. That's what I did with my money. At $5,000, I gave $2,500 to my parents, and I kept $2,500 for myself. It did not go to school. It went into a new cell phone. It went into Broadway shows, and I didn't know anything about discounts. So we were spending on premium shows, okay? Premium. We went right into one show, Mamma Mia, loved it so much, went right back around to the box office and spent another $200 per ticket just to see it the following week. I met Judith Light, and I met Christopher Durang, and I even met, what's his name? Is his name David Hines? Maybe not David Hines. He played Niles from Frasier. Met him. Amazing. I got all their signatures and playbills, all those playbills sitting right up here on the shelf right here. That's what I did with my $2,500 that I had left after giving half to my mother. Like, that's what I did at 18. Yeah, no, don't tell me to just have fun. Stop telling young people out here to just spend and spend and spend their money, but to be smart about it. Because here's the thing, when crisis strike, they don't have any savings. They'll be caught out here, stupid, looking like Booba the Fool, dependent on their families, and then being treated like trash because they were given terrible advice. Yeah, no, I'm not finna just have y'all out here, you know, caught out here looking like Booba the Fool the way I was. Cause that sucks. Like, that sucks. It ain't fun at all. And you can avoid having those frustrations and those animosities and resentments build up between you and the people that you love and the people that love you because you were irresponsible with your money because of the bad advice you were given. Like, I had fun. I didn't save the $500 that I spent on Broadway. No, I had fun. I was meeting all the famous people of Hollywood and Broadway. And look, these people don't give a damn about me. Look at where we are today with Hollywood and Broadway. Look where we are. Patti LuPone doesn't like conservatives. Come on. Seriously? Spending all this money to see all these people and they treat us like trash. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm spending all this money? Come on. Like, really? Seriously? This is what we're saying? Like, what? Because no one told me to save my money. That's what I was doing. $500 a month. $6,000 a year. In 4 years, that's $24,000 that went into Broadway shows and not my savings account because I was told to party, 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 not save and invest. Have some fun. No one's saying you can't rush a Broadway ticket or two. But $500 on a month because you want to see Glenn Close, Sally Field, Patti LuPone, you want to these people don't know you. They don't like you. Maybe they don't like me. They don't know me, but that's the whole point. They don't know you. You don't know these people. They don't know you from Eve. The hell do you care that they care or you meet them? What difference does it make? Have some fun. But don't be stupid, which they all expect you to be. They all expect you to be dumb. And I ain't finna just stand by and let Gen Zers be told that nonsense because that's what happened with millennials. Go to college, take out all that tremendous debt. Nonsense. Don't get married until you can afford to buy the house. Now look, population's dwindling. We don't get married. We don't have children. No, we're just hoeing around, sleeping around, having accidental pregnancies that no one can afford. Nonsense. Buying cars we can't afford. Like, again, nonsense. Oh, well, Rochelle, because if you buy the car that you don't use credit and debt for, then it's not going to work out for you. That car is going to require more money in order to fix it because you decided to wait to afford to buy the vehicle that you can just buy as opposed to taking on a debt. Like, you're telling me to take on a debt for a vehicle rather than me saving the money to buy a vehicle that is reliable. I just need a horse, yo. I don't need a Triple Crown winner. But you out here telling young people to take out a debt to get the Triple Crown winner. That's retarded. Why are you doing that? Well, because that's what I was told. Yeah, nah, that's like I'm a Democrat because my mother is. That ain't a good enough reason. I love my mother, but I ain't about to be a Democrat because she is. Again, that's that equivalent, yo. That's that thinking. I'm only doing this because my mother said that I should. What? What? You always say, well, if your friends were going to jump off a bridge, would you? Most likely people would because they want to be in it with the in crowd. Your mother tells you to jump off a bridge. You probably do it. Why? Because she's a mother. My mother told me to do it, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, no, 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 no. My brother, he owns a business and he says I should just enjoy my 20s and have fun. Yeah, he's only saying that because he got married when he was young. He had a family when he was young. He had a business and responsibilities and obligations when he was young. And he would rather be out here hoeing himself out, not having children, not being married. And so he wants to live vicariously through you. So he's going to screw you up. But he's making money and he has a wife and he has children and he has a family and he's paying a mortgage. Yeah, he's got responsibilities. He's got chains. He's got the ball and chain. Yes. But he wanted the bill. He wanted the wife. He wanted the children. And because he thinks the grass might have been greener on the other side, he's out here encouraging you to do the thing that is opposite of what the scripture tells you to do. Be young and dumb, he says. Be young and dumb because it's expected of you. But he didn't do that. So why am I out here doing that? Because he said so, because a mother said it's okay, because women out here saying it's okay, because society said it's okay that in your 20s it's okay to be stupid. That is retarded. And a lot of us got. Yo, when I turned 30, I'm going to be different. I made that decision. I turned 30. I woke up. Yeah, nah, people, I feel different. Or really, I didn't feel different. Some people say I didn't really feel very different. I just felt like I was too old. Well, maybe. But like I said, folks, I couldn't wait to be 30. Why? Because apparently when you're 30, you're smarter. I made a decision that when I turned 30, I was going to be smarter. And guess what? I have 4-6 months later, my problem is different. My goals are different because the goal before was just get the job and save. Today, it's not get the job and save. It is I have a job and save. Now the goal is get your own place. Stop roommating. Get your own place. Increase your income so you can get your own place. I'm out here working the side hustle, okay? Working overtime so I can increase my income. That's what I'm doing. Working extra hours and working a side hustle so I can increase my income, therefore decrease my DTI so I have the pay stubs and the financial stability to afford my necessities, even if it means I got to slash away from desires like subscriptions, because that is what it means to be mature and a responsible adult. Y'all won't catch me out here being stupid. And I'm not going to just sit idly by while society at large and your families and friends tell you that it's okay to be stupid because you're young. That is retarded. And yeah, no, I think when old people say, and I'm sorry to say old people, but when the elderly say that they wish that they were smarter, I think we should hear them. I think we should listen to them. I think they have something to say, and a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. But understand something. They had a reason for why they didn't know. Millennials, Gen Zers, we don't have that excuse. We're young enough to get the information, which is free, to be different, to be better, because the information is free. And we have an opportunity to build and make something out of ourselves in a way that has never been the case in the history of mankind. That's the reality. The reality is there is opportunity, so much opportunity that is unprecedented, that it has never existed anywhere at any time on the face of the earth in all of human history. That is true. So while people are sitting there begging on TikTok, you realize you could be using TikTok to sell something? They have the master algorithm, grow your distribution. Like, yo. If you can think it, you can build it. That's where we are today. Like, your thoughts can become an actual product in a matter of Not even just days, yo, but in a matter of minutes, depending on what the product is. In a matter of minutes to days. That's where we are. You think it, you can build it within a matter of days. If you are determined, if you stay true to the scripture, yo, make it so. Stop complaining. I'm not saying that once in a while we don't get caught up in it, because I do get caught up in it myself on those days. And then there are some days where I have to say out loud to myself with conviction, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. That's the devil trying to get me. No, you trying to have me focused on something that doesn't even matter. You want me focused on my resentments. You want me focused on the anger. You want me focused on where everything went wrong. You want me focused on how somebody said something horrible to me or something bad happened to me. And I haven't yet dealt with those emotions. And yeah, okay, fine, but you're trying to get me and I'm not going to let you stop me. Like, I'm still going to make something happen. Why? Because in 4 to 6 months, yo, I went from no money to some money with savings because I was determined and stayed true to the word of God. That's where I'm at today. I don't care if you aren't making enough money. If you can save $25 a week, save $25 a week. You do that every month, you got $100 saved. If you do that, you got $1,200 saved in the month. You got $1,000 saved in the 10 months. That's the first $1,000 in baby step number 1 in the Financial Peace University tools. Okay. Well, that's not enough money. No, it's not. It's not. You're absolutely right. It's not enough money. But the fact that you're watching your savings grow makes you start to think, how can I get to $1,000 sooner, faster? Just start. Build that momentum. Have those little wins. Focus it in. Don't let anybody get into your head. Don't let them try to tell you something stupid. Party, party, party. No, that's retarded. That's nonsense. And if you're watching me, I'm about to have you doing something totally different. We're going to get you on a budget. I'm going to slash away at your budget. Because if there's some things in here that shouldn't even be in here, yo, why are you spending $1,000 on maintenance? Can you do your hair yourself? Can you paint your nails yourself? Can you just, I don't know, just keep your nails fresh? Can you, I don't know, do your own damn makeup? Could you stop wearing wigs? Can you, I don't know, only have the bikini wax done and not have the whole body waxed and just shave where you can and have the bikini wax paid for? Like, yo, save where you can. I'm slashing away. Call me the hash slinging slasher. I'm coming for your spending. I'm getting you on a budget. I'm showing you why you should invest and save, because I ain't trying to have y'all out here 80 years old driving Uber. That I ain't finna have. I love my fellow Americans too much to just sit idly by and watch young people and millennials end up like that. Why? Because, well, I'm young and YOLO, and I don't got to think about it right now. Yeah, F around, find out. FAFO, yeah, you be the one. I was already out here, caught out here like an idiot, like a fool, because I listened to people who weren't smart about money in their 20s. So they said that I wasn't smart with my money in my 20s, that when crisis struck, I wasn't prepared for it. Yeah, now if I can help other people avoid that situation, then I did my job. Loki, you guys, I did not expect this live to go as long as it did. I thought I was only going to talk for like 20 minutes, maybe 30. But I guess I had a lot to say. And, you know, it just needed to be said. And yes, you guys, I am going to be doing a video today in Archie's Briefings podcast will be coming out today. I might change the shirt just because you've already seen me in the green, but who knows? Like why? I might just stay in this shirt. Why am I going to change the shirt? I might as well. People can't change their shirts when they're at work, right? Well, I mean, they can, depends on where you're working, but I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it. But, you know, you guys definitely stick around for, Archie's briefings for later on today. I want you to guys definitely get into the comment sections about everything. Head over to the TikTok of Moral Finance. Definitely, follow, not subscribe, but follow that page of mine on TikTok. You got a lot of the comedy shorts are going to be there, generated by AI. Hello, there's the master algorithm there. I am working on some things and I will be announcing that, if not today, then most likely tomorrow. So I'll see what today's productivity brings me to determine whether or not I'll be able to announce the big news today, possibly tomorrow. So we'll see what the day brings me to tell me if I'm going to be able to make the big announcement on today's episode, or if it'll be tomorrow's episode. But low key, stick around for today's episode of Archie's Briefings, because we are going to get a little bit more detailed about what these elderly individuals had to say, what they're interested in doing, and what we could be doing ourselves in order to better our circumstances. So definitely stick around for later today, for later's episode. How do I say this word? Normally I would have edited that part out, but again, we're live, so can't really edit that part out. But you guys know what I mean. Stick around for the episode coming out later today of Archie's briefings. Again, subscribe to both channels of Pocket Politics and Moral Finance, you guys. I definitely want you to subscribe there as well. Head over to the TikTok and follow me there. If you are the person who wants to have your debt to income ratio, calculated, and you also want to have your budget built out, your zero-based budget, head over to the TikTok, get into my DMs, and I will go ahead and go into my rates, how long the sessions are, and what I'm prepared to do to help you guys out. Because, like I said, I ain't trying to have y'all out here like fools the way I was, because that shit's whack. Excuse my French, but now it's actually past 9 o'clock. So I can go ahead and cuss now. I will see you guys later. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. God bless. And of course, because it's me, Kepla, and y'all about to watch me do my exiting out of the chat. I love you guys. Thanks for liking. Thanks for watching. Hi, guys. Love you. Thank you so much. Mwah. And of course, live long, prosper. I'll see you later.